All right, dear ones, we are in the sewing room. I'm just going to make a quick video to show you how I connect the very end of the binding, and I hope this helps somebody a little bit. I have figured out what the size of my binding needs to be by measuring it from another area of my binding. In fact, I'll show you. This is how much there is left over. I know that this is exactly 2.5 inches across right here, so that's how much I want to overlap. So I literally use a section of this as my measurement tool, and then I have cut the two ends of the binding to fit that. We can go over that later. I'm sure that's probably a little confusing unless you know what I'm already talking about. I have lapped those over at the 45 degree in this way. Now, I have also moved my quilt out of the way. That can be just something that can cause you some hassle because you have this bit of the quilt in the way. So I've just pinned that up and moved it out of the way. Look how easy that is. That gives me plenty of access to all of this binding right here. Now I've stitched that at the 45, but before I trim that off, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove my pin. I'm going to straighten all of my quilt out, and then I'm going to lay out my binding and make sure that it fits, that I have attached the binding the correct way, that it's not curling over upon itself, and that it does fit in there. It's not too big or too small before I trim this triangle off. It looks great. Then I'm going to finger press that and stitch the rest of it on. So hopefully that helps somebody a little bit. One of the tricks that I use is to pull that quilt up and get it pinned out of my way, so I have lots of room to be able to work right here. Sometimes that's the problem, is everything's just too tight, too cumbersome because of that quilt. Take a pin or a clip and move that out of the way, and that will help you quite a bit. So be sure and measure that everything's going the right way and that it fits before trimming off that triangle. All right, happy quilting, happy binding.